I am Dr. Akriti, and today I'll be speaking on the topic entrepreneurship and marketing strategies in small ruminant farming. Its main purpose is empowering farmers and veterinarians for success in sheep and goat farming. Today, we'll be focusing on the balanced approach of integrating scientific knowledge, practical insights, and motivational contents to engage and inspire you all. And my main goal is to provide accessible and actionable information to veterinarians and students and motivating all of you to pursue entrepreneurial opportunities in the sheep and goat farming sector. Moving ahead, I would like to introduce to the global importance of this sector. Over 1.5 billion goats and 1.2 billion sheep population is there in worldwide, and which is very important for the economic development. It provides not only food security and nutrition, which with mutton and milk, goat milk, etc., but also provides livelihood to the various communities. Now, sheep and goat farming as a lucrative, sustainable venture in India. With India's highest population in sheep and goat, that is over 74 million sheep and 135 million goat, it is the largest producer and exporter of goat meat. The small ruminants in India are raised mainly for meat, milk, fiber, and hides. They are highly adaptable and provide economic viability as they are a source of cost effective farming, and they are also sustainable. So why should we choose sheep and goat farming, which we call as small ruminant farming? Why should we choose it? First reason, first and foremost reason being its high reproductive rates. Compared to the large ruminants, that is cow and buffalo, they have high fecundity. Mostly the litter size of goat and sheep ranges from 2 to 12. They are quick growers. They reach market weight within 5 to 6 months for goats and 6 to 9 months for sheep, and they fetch faster returns on investment. Next is their diverse products. They provide multiple income streams from single farming, like meat, which is the highest global demand in the form of mutton and chevron. Milk. The milk products of goat and sheep is a rage these days, which includes goat cheese, yogurt, and other artisanal dairy products. The wool and fiber. We all know the importance and the market presence of the Angora and Cashmere wool fibers. They are the high value fibers which are high in demand in the European countries as well. The byproducts of this farming is also fetching additional income in the form of skin, hides, and manures. They have a low investment and operational costs. They take less space, feed, and infrastructure, and goats, especially being an efficient foragers, require in fact less investment compared to large ruminants, that is cow. And an additional benefit is that they are resilient to harsh climatic conditions, and they have high adaptability, ranging from arid, semi-arid regions and hills and mountains as well. Thus, they have a global adaptability. Now, talking about the entrepreneurial mindset in livestock farming. What is the difference between an entrepreneur and a businessman? So, the business oriented approach, that is to cultivate a mindset that treats farming as a business for profitability. The old age Indians believed like the farming is for their home activities, but no, we should treat farming as a business that is meant for earning profits. That is to apply business models, market research, branding, and introducing new technologies for sustainability of their business and profitability. Next is the innovation, risk taking, and adaptability. That is, this makes a difference in your enterprises, like to embrace new ideas and to be ready to take calculated risks. The risk factor is what differentiates a normal businessman from an entrepreneur. Next is the shift to commercial farming. That is, evolve from subsistence farming to profitable business. That is making a scalable business model by exploring niche markets and diversifying the products. Niche markets are a certain sector, certain that which cater to a certain customers, like goat cheese, like sheep cheese. These artisanal products, dairy products are a rage these days. Youngsters and are demanding it and are consuming it. And next is strategic business goals, like not treating it as a regular business, but focusing on long term planning, growth through clear and actionable goals. These are the 4 points that make entrepreneur different from a businessman. Now, coming to entrepreneurship, that is transforming farms to profitable ventures. The economic empowerment this goat and sheep provides, that is boosting the local rural economy by providing consistent income, especially to women and youth. Employment opportunities open up for farmers, for veterinarians, and for workers, which in turn will work in feed processing and marketing sectors of these farming businesses. Poverty alleviation and food security increases access to affordable protein, improves livelihoods, and contribute to food security in rural areas. Next is the technological advancements, adoption of modern farming techniques and digital tools leading to higher productivity, efficiency, and sustainable growth. Let's have a outlook of the geographical goat farming industry geographical outlook. As we can see from this pie chart, that the global goat meat production is highest in the China, followed by India. But the difference between them is like 41% for China, then 9% for India. And most of the global meat export value comes from Australia, that is 44%. So, what are the driving factors? The driving factor is that there is a rising demand for protein, an increasing global demand for protein, dietary shift towards the protein-rich diets, as more a number of youths are inclined towards high protein diets. Advanced farming techniques and technology-driven practices which enhance the goat farming efficiency. Now let's get some regional insights. In 2022, Brazil and the United States were the largest exporter of goat meat, although now India has taken over. And the largest region in 2022 was in Asia Pacific, and the second largest region in the terms of goat market was Western Europe, and it still is. Moving ahead, let's have a SWOT analysis quickly. So the SWOT analysis, we will see about the strengths, weaknesses, threats, and opportunities. So what are the strengths of the goat and sheep industry? The major strengths being the growing global demand for goat milk and meat. They have a low initial investment, as I already mentioned, quick breeding cycles, and environment-friendly business. This is one of the major burning issue, that is we have to consider environment-friendly businesses, and goat farming, like small ruminant farming, is one of it. Coming to the weaknesses, they're like any other business, like any other enterprises. Goat farming and sheep farming also has its weaknesses, which includes disease outbreak risk, lack of proper infrastructure. In India, still certain interior areas have lack of proper infrastructure due to high cost, and a small ruminant farming is a labor intensive, especially during kidding and milking seasons. So during the pasteurization and during when it needs labor intensive, it is a labor intensive business in India. Threats, the threats are the product prices, which is highly variable. It is depending on the market, the demand of the market, and it keeps on changing depending on the season, depending on the religious festivals, so which fluctuates the prices. Certain regulation related to animal welfare and fluctuating feed costs. These are the threats which are there in the goat farming industry. Now coming to the opportunities. The small ruminant farming is filled with opportunities. First being the growing consumer interest in healthy, organic, and locally sourced goat products. These days, youngsters are more inclined towards healthy habits, fitness, high protein diets, certain diets which include lean meat, red meat. So these kind of things creates an opportunity, and there is an opportunity market here. And processing goat milk into cheese, yogurt, and other dairy products. So these are the opportunities. This was a small SWOT analysis of the small ruminant farming. Moving ahead, the business opportunities in small ruminant farming in India. So, what are the business opportunities one can pursue if somebody wants to venture into the small ruminant farming? First is the meat and milk production, that is for consumption. India being the world's largest producer of goat meat with over 150 million goat population, and Indian dairy sector, the goat milk contributes 10 to 12% of the total milk production. So the milk and meat production is one of the major business opportunities in this farming. Next, wool and fleece production. India is the sixth largest wool producer globally, with the states like Rajasthan and Uttar Pradesh leading in production. The wool production in India exceeds more than 50,000 tons annually, which providing opportunities in the value added product sector as well. As I had mentioned earlier, these products like cashmere, these are demanded in a huge quantity, and export opportunities are there. Next is the breeding programs for genetic improvement. This is also a business opportunity. The research sector, there's a growing demand for crossbred goats and sheep, improving meat and milk yield. And although the government is working in this area, government researchers are working in this area, but if anybody wants to venture into research for breeding programs for genetic improvement, there is a huge opportunity there. The genetic advancements could boost productivity by 20 to 30%. Next are the animal byproducts. Any industry will only become profitable, and you can keep on earning remunerative profits only when you diversify. And animal byproducts usage is one of the major business opportunities which is being missed by most of the entrepreneurs, which includes hides, skins, manure, which have significant economic value. The goat hides contribute millions to the leather industry, and manure is also a key component of organic farming. The organic farming being a rage these days, we have to, venture into these kind of business opportunities and not just be consistent with just milk and meat production. We have to look for diversifying the profits. And as I mentioned, the goat and sheep leather industry, the texture, these are being incorporated by certain brands in their organic leather, and these things are also getting popularity among the youth. So there is a huge business opportunity there also. Next, last but not the least, and it is an upcoming industry, that is agro-tourism and farm experiences. The people residing in the metro cities like Mumbai, Bangalore, Delhi, the rich people, they have a farmhouses specifically dedicated to agro-tourism and farm experiences. They want to stay far away for a weekend getaway, farm stays, tours, and animal interactions. So this is gaining a huge popularity. Agro-tourism is emerging with farms offering rural experiences and eco-tourism opportunities. Over 2,000 agro-tourism units in India are generating income from farm stays, tours, and animal interactions. Moving ahead, what is like starting a small ruminant farming business in India? What are the ways? First and foremost, the research, planning, and funding. 80% of the small ruminant farmers in India rely on loans. Therefore, this is highlighting an important part, that is financial planning. Location, climate, and infrastructure. Small ruminant farming is ideal for semi-arid and dry regions. In India, like Rajasthan, Uttar Pradesh, and Andhra Pradesh are the major hubs for small ruminant farming. Next important is the breed selection. The demand for high-yielding breeds like Boer goats and Garol sheep is growing and increasing profitability by 20 to 30%. So breed selection is important. Like for what is the business? Are you breeding? Are you your business is for meat or milk or skin? So what is the purpose of your business? That will lead you to decide what type of breed you are going to select. Next is the technical knowledge in animal husbandry. Proper training can boost productivity up to 25% with a focus on disease management and nutrition. So how will you gain the technical knowledge in animal husbandry? So there are certain institutes, government institutes, as well as private institutes, which offer trainings and other capacity building program. There is a separate institute dedicated towards goat and sheep, the goat one being in Mathura and sheep one being in Avikanagar, Rajasthan. So technical expertise for the who is going to start the business is the basic prerequisite. And next is the market demand. Like India's small ruminant meat market is expected to grow at 8% annually, with increasing domestic and export opportunities. So here we can see the goat farming businesses provide nutrient-rich milk and easily digestible meat. This is an important point here. The ethical and eco-friendly businesses with minimal environmental impact. This is due to the goats being an efficient foragers. They don't require certain set of feed for them. They can feed on leaves, they can feed on hay. So they require less money on feed and fodder. And so small, they can start small and can expand gradually with the growing demand. And businesses can target local butchers, restaurants, and direct consumers for market penetration. And this plan, you have to focus on how to raise goats in a sustainable, profitable livestock possibility. Next is the business planning for small ruminant farming. We have to come up with a comprehensive business plan. Like you have to define the objectives, you have to conduct a market analysis and operations. Government supported models have reported 25 to 40% higher success rates with formal plans. So if you can get a government supported aid, that will be beneficial for you for kickstarting your business. The financial budgeting. As per the Ministry of Agriculture data of 2023, per 100 animals, you will need a minimum investment of capital investment of 50,000 to 2 lakhs. And operating costs balanced with profits, that is return on investment of 15 to 20% annually in well-managed farms. Next is the risk assessment and mitigation. Early disease detection reduces losses by 30%. So this is an important point of risk assessment and mitigation. There is a concept of HACCP, that is hazard analysis and critical control points. So these, if you detect the disease early and having certain expertise in this area, will not only prevent you from losses, but these small losses which you prevent will lead to the long-term profits. And next is the insurance. Having a insurance, that is insurance uptake, improves resilience by 40% as per the NABARD reports. NABARD is the National Bank of Agriculture and Rural Development. So certain agricultural banks and rural banks and Grameen banks of the various states provide insurance to the livestock farmers, and you can assess those and start your business planning accordingly. Next is the scalability and growth strategies. I have mentioned earlier about the diversification, which enhances the revenue by 30 to 50%. And the government schemes, certain government of India schemes, state government schemes offer subsidies up to 35% for scaling the operations. Next is how to get started in sheep and goat farming. So first, as I have discussed, that is the research, studying the market trends, breeding techniques, disease management, planning with the financial projections, your goal, growth strategies. And the most important is the local support. You have to get in touch with the local agricultural organizations and your veterinary experts in your area. Resources and training programs. Certain training programs by the NABARD are offered by NABARD and state agricultural departments. You can get enrolled in them. Certain veterinary colleges and agriculture colleges, and they also hold certain time to time training programs on sustainable farming, biosecurity, and animal husbandry. You can enroll in them. Mentorship. Connect with experienced farmers and industry experts in your area through government and private initiatives. Use social media to your favor and get connected. Joining cooperatives and groups. The farmer cooperatives. This is the oldest means to gain expertise in any area, market access, shared resources, and collective bargaining through groups like Kisan Credit Card. Veterinary groups. Partner with veterinary associations for health management and disease prevention. Online communities, like I said, social media. Engage with platforms like agribusiness communities for networking, knowledge, and sharing. There are several apps available through which you can join the communities and share your ideas and gain ideas. Next is assessing government schemes and subsidies. Uh, One is the Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima scheme, that is to provide crop insurance to safeguard against risks. So, if you want to, if in any livestock business, the major chunk of expenses which goes is in feeding, fodder. So, through these schemes, you can have your own growing the feed and fodder, and you can get it at subsidized rates, and then you can, have a business model accordingly. Next is the NABARD and Ministry of Agriculture, subsidized loans and grants for purchasing livestock and equipment. For equipment purchasing also, the government has certain plans in place, and subsidies for technologies. Access 30 to 40% subsidies on advanced farm equipment and precision farming tools. Now, once you have started your like farm, small ruminant farming, there are certain essential farm management practices that you must uh, uh, have in practice. First is the nutritional management. As I said, nutrition in any farming business forms the major chunk of expenses, and balanced diets improve growth rates by 30% and milk yield by 20%. These data are from the sources from the Ministry of Agriculture 2023 data. The government studies have highlighted that at 15% decrease in feed costs with tailored nutrition plans. If you have a certain nutrition plans in place, you can decrease 15% of the feeding cost. Disease prevention and veterinary care. This is one of the most important management practices. Regular deworming and vaccination reduce mortality by 35%. Mortality being the death rate. The health monitoring increases the reproductive efficiency by 20%. Monitoring the reproductive efficiency will let you know when to inseminate the does and eaves, and accordingly you can cycle your growth, like growth of the kids. Next is the housing and fencing. The well-designed shelters reduce stress and improve productivity by 15 to 25%. Housing and fencing is one of the most important during, because kid mortality during the winter season is one of the main reasons for losses faced by the small ruminant farmers. Secure fencing minimizes predation losses by 40%. Next is record keeping and financial management. Record keeping will help you in analyzing where you are going wrong. The farm with detailed records report up to 50% higher profitability was reported, and tracking herd health and expenses ensures long-term sustainability. Now coming to understanding the market for sheep and goats. So there is a domestic and international market for these products. India is the second largest producer of goat meat globally. Exports of sheep and goat products grew by 18% in 2022, according to APEDA. And the market trends, there is a rising demand for organic meat and specialty dairy products. They have the 20% annual growth. Urban markets favor convenience and premium products. Urban markets mainly comprises of the people working in the IT sector, working in the metro cities, and they want a convenient option like packaged products and premium products. So they have the purchasing capacity, they have the spending capacity. The products are not available in the market. Next is the targeting local markets. High demand during festivals. Certain festivals during Eid, during Diwali, and during certain New Year's, there is a sudden surge, more than 30% sales surge. And export is one of the major profitable business in this area. Middle East and Southeast Asia are top buyers of Indian goat meat with $400 million annually. And next is the market research and niche opportunities. Specialty products like A2 goat milk and artisan cheese saw 15 to 25% higher margins. People are ready to pay 15 to 25% higher for these kind of products. And customized market strategies boost competitiveness in crowded markets. Uh, so these kind of understanding you have to build to market your products. Now let's explore the growth drivers for goat farming businesses. What are the growth drivers for goat farming? Genetic improvement. Breeding for superior traits boosts better meat or milk production potential. Next is government support. In many countries, government agricultural programs and subsidies are available to support increasing demand for goat products. Like I mentioned, rising demand for goat meat, milk, and other products driven by population growth. In a country like ours, with such a huge population to feed, such sustainable farming of goat and sheep farming is a very good opportunity. Next is high reproductive rate of goats, faster turnover, increased potential for growth in business, and next, the most important, value added products. Beyond meat and milk, there is cheese, yogurt, soap, other cosmetic products, leather, for bag making, certain kind of artisanal bags, organic bags. So these can increase the income potential. Next, coming to the marketing strategies for small ruminant farms. The traditional marketing is there, that is word of mouth, local fairs, farmers market, which contributes major chunk of the rural sales. And community network building, which builds the trust and long-term customers. Nothing can replace the traditional marketing, although, but nowadays with digital marketing, you can have a social media presence of your small ruminant farm, which is reporting 25 to 30% higher sales. The e-commerce platforms enable direct access to urban consumers. These days, mainstream TV is also a source for promoting a business through certain shows like Shark Tanks and where the various businessmen come and invest in your enterprises and master chef and these kind of platforms. Many of the young entrepreneurs are using TV also as a for marketing their products. So e-commerce platforms like Amazon, Flipkart, these are enable direct access to urban consumers, and instant e-commerce platforms like Blinkit, Instamart, Dunzo. The youth, like young customers from 18 to 35, they are using it like anything. So if you can capture these markets, and then you will be earning higher profits. Next is branding and identity. Unique farm branding increases product recognition by 35%. Like we can see in the case of Amul, whenever they have a certain unique font, certain unique background of yellow and red, and like for any other state also, they have their own dairies. So branding in today's time is very important, and it can increase recognition of your product. Next is storytelling. That is like for example, sustainable farming practices which attracts premium buyers. Now, in like 1.5 years back, there was a rage of A2 ghee, and although it was a scam, there is no A2 A2 ghee for cow is not an reasonable selling point, but for goat milk is a purely A2 milk. So we can say that you have to build a certain backstory with your brand, like it is organic, or it is sustainable farming practices, cruelty free, vegan. These kind of labels attached to your product will make it more desirable by the niche customers. Next is value addition and packaging. As I mentioned, artisanal cheese and gourmet meat cuts fetch 20 to 50% higher prices, and attractive eco-friendly packaging appeals to urban and export markets. As you can see in the pictures, various type of goat and sheep products, sheep cheese, goat milk yogurt. The target market. The goat milk has a high protein content, which is crucial for general growth and development of human, those seeking unique flavors. The goat and sheep milk offer unique flavors. Health conscious folks, food enthusiasts, like food connoisseurs as we call them, families and restaurant owners. Now the market sizing, what TAM, SAM and SOM, total addressable market, service addressable market and service obtainable market. So the total addressable market is the total revenue potential if a company captures the entire market. Like it is a hypothetical scenario, like total whatever revenue can be generated if the whole market is accessible to your community, to your company. SAM, service addressable market. The service addressable market is that portion of the total addressable market which a company can reach. Like it is based on the your geographical region, how many people you can address. And SOM, the service obtainable market. It is the portion of the market that a company can realistically capture. So accordingly, you can just understand how, if you are selling milk, if you are selling an artisanal cheese product, if you are selling for example, goat soap is very new these days, and goat milk is being used in cosmetic product, bathing product, bath bombs are made out of it. So what is your service obtainable market, to whom you can reach? You have to target that. Next is leveraging technology in small ruminant farming. Mobile apps for farm management. There are certain apps like Pashu Mitra, which enable tracking of health, breeding, and vaccination schedule for your farm. Farmers using such apps report 20% higher productivity. The precision farming techniques, smart sensor, monitoring feeding and health, reducing wastage by 15 to 20%. Real-time growth tracking enhances yield predictions. Next is the e-commerce for market expansion. Platforms like eNAM connect farmers to wider markets, increasing profits by 30%. And next is the direct-to-consumer sales, which reduces middleman costs. Automation and AI-driven technologies. Automated feeding systems save 30% labor costs, and artificial intelligence-based disease detection improves herd health, cutting losses by 25%. We can see certain farming goat. It is a goat and sheep app which is available on the Play Store. Several universities like IVRI, Indian Veterinary Research Institute, have certain apps in place which you can download for gaining information, for tracking your health of your farm. Certain Internet of Things devices are also available nowadays, which you can access. Next is developing sustainable practices in small ruminant farming. We have to consider productivity and environmental health. We have to have a wholesome business experience. First is the zero grazing models. It reduces land degradation by 50% and increases productivity by 20%. It is suitable for high density livestock operations. Rotational grazing and organic farming. Rotational grazing improves pasture recovery by 30%, and organic practices boost product demand by 40% in the urban markets. With increasing uh, health hazards from the traditional farming of using pesticides and using such certain harmful chemicals in growing your fodder and then feeding that fodder to the goat and sheep. So these people are refraining from such products, and they are ready to pay extra for the organic products. So this can, improve your profit if you go for organic practices for your farming. Next is sustainable water and waste management. Rainwater harvesting, one of the most important, which can save 30 to 40% of water needs. And composting manure reduces waste and cuts fertilizer cost by 25%. Next is the eco-friendly branding benefits. Farms adopting sustainable practices have reported 15 to 25% higher product premiums and appeals to environmentally conscious consumers, especially in export markets. As we can see from this diagram, this is a small ruminant production in changing climate scenario. Your eco footprint, you have to maintain a low carbon footprint for meat production, emit less methane, and as goat consumes low quality feed, therefore it is a benefit. There are certain opportunities: low input, high output, wide geographical adaptability, ideal climate, and ensures gender equity, like women and children can also rear goat and sheep as a backyard farming. So there are huge opportunities, adaptation and mitigation. It improves breeding strategies through inclusion of the nutritional intervention, housing and animal management, capacity building. But there are certain challenges as well. Now coming to the role of veterinarians in small ruminant farming. What is, as a veterinarian, since I am a veterinarian, I will focus on this. Key stakeholders in animal health. Veterinarians improve livestock productivity by 20 to 30% through health interventions. Reduce disease outbreaks, lead to 15% lower mortality rates. Consultation on breeding and nutrition. Expert breeding programs increase birth rates by 25%. And nutrition plans tailored by veterinarians enhance growth and milk yield by 20%. Farmers training and biosecurity. Vaccination and biosecurity reduce disease prevalence by 40%. And trained farmers save 500 to 1000 rupees per animal annually on healthcare costs. So, if as a farmer or as a young entrepreneur you are starting this business, get some training in advance so that you can have a know-how about your business. Technical support for business growth. Vets offer insights into farm management, aiding in return on investment on growth of 15 to 20%. And veterinarian support aligns farm with government scheme and subsidies. Building relationship with suppliers and buyers, networking with suppliers. This is one of the important aspect in any business. No business can only rely on production. You have to have a good supplier and buyer chain in place. The networking with suppliers of bulk purchasing of feed and equipment can reduce costs by 10 to 15%. And reliable veterinary services improve herd health and it enhances productivity by 20%. Developing buyer relationships. Processors and retailers ensures consistent demand, thus increasing the income stability of an entrepreneur by 25%. And direct consumer sales through local markets also boosts the profit up to 30%. Role of local cooperative societies. Farmer cooperatives negotiate 10 to 20% higher prices for the members. So if you are a member, of a cooperative organization, you have a you are on a higher position to negotiate. And next is the access to shared resources, which reduces the operational costs. Next is the building trust and reputation. Transparent dealings and quality products enhance market reputation, which leads to long-term buyer loyalty. And next is the trustworthy brands, which attracts repeat buyers, growing revenue by 15 to 20% annually. Suppose you introduce a new goat cheese in the market. People will buy it once, but how will you maintain a long-term buyer loyalty? It will only come from quality products and building a trustworthy brand that is consistently delivering the same quality product. Next is standing out with branding and positioning in the market. First is to create a unique selling proposition. What is the USP of your farm? What is the newness you are bringing to the product? Highlight your specialties, whether it is organic meat or organic milk, A2 goat milk, or eco-friendly practices, or pesticide-free or vegan, cruelty-free. These kind of highlights give your product a unique selling proposition. Farms with a clear USP see 25 to 30% higher customer retention. Building a strong brand identity. Use professional logos, engaging farm stories. Like I said, you have to have a backstory to your brand and local community connections. Branded products command premiums of 15 to 20% in urban and export markets. Effective positioning strategies. How are you positioning your product? Like focus on quality certifications, sustainability certification, and excellent customer service. One of the most important thing is making your customer happy. And next is the premium positioning attracts health conscious and environmentally aware buyers. Like I said, these two are the USP of small ruminant farming, which is high protein, environment friendly, sustainable. So if you are positioning your product with these kind of in these markets, you will have a buyer network. Next is leveraging social proof. Using testimonials, online review, and partnership increases credibility by 40%. And word of mouth and influencer endorsements enhance brand reach. These days, influencer culture is growing, and as an entrepreneur, it is your duty to lead with what is going around. And influencer endorsements is one of the recent things which can you can use to promote your brand. Next is the financial management for small ruminant farmers. How will you manage the finances? Managing farm finances. Track your income, your expenses, and profitability to ensure 10 to 15% higher net returns. And regular financial analysis will help you optimize your operations and reduce costs. Funding options for farmers. NABARD offers loans with subsidies up to 25% for small ruminant farming. Crowdfunding platforms these days are gaining popularity, which enable 10,000 to 5 lakh for farm expansion. And financial planning for sustainability. Detailed financial planning can improve cash flow and increase profit margins by 20%. And planning ensures readiness for market fluctuations and emergencies. Next is the cost benefit analysis for scaling. Return on investment for new technologies, for example, automated feeding, or if you are introducing any IoT in your farm. And if you have a cost benefit analysis, it can exceed 20% annually. Scaling operations with 30% more capital can boost revenue by 40%. Next is the sales and distribution network, that is expanding your market reach, creating sales channels, direct sales to consumers, wholesalers, online platform, e-nam, supermarkets can offer access to 5 to 10 times larger markets. Logistics and transportation. Efficient transport reduces product spoilage by 25%. Livestock products are uh, susceptible to spoilage. So having logistics and transportation being on top of it is of priority. Government supported logistics infrastructure ensures timely delivery, enhancing and enhancing customer satisfaction. Having a reliable supply chain. A stable supply chain reduces the risk of 30 to 40% inventory shortages. Consistent deliveries improve buyer relationships, leading to 20 to 25% repeat businesses. And exploring value added products, processing the products, making your products like cheese, sausages, and packaged milk increases revenue by 30 to 50%, and it also increases the shelf life of your perishable products. Government schemes offer subsidies for processing equipment. Up to 25% subsidies for processing equipment are also there. Let's quickly have a market analysis. And this is the SCP, we call it SCP market analysis paradigm. Structure, conduct, and performance. You have to monitor the entry and exit regulations, access to information, access to finance, degree of your product differentiation and concentration. Next is the conduct, sales and purchase techniques, pricing policy, association, mergers and cooperation strategies, and taxes to exclude the rivals, your rival competitors. Next is the performance, sales volume, price levels, trade margins, transaction costs, and marketing efficiency. And all of these are interlinked. Now, coming to marketing your products, promoting meat and dairy. Goat meat is the most consumed red meat, like chevron. Mutton comes after goat meat, with market growth rate of 15% annually. And goat milk sees 25% higher demand in the urban markets. Festivals like Eid and Diwali see 30 to 40% increase in sales for sheep and goat products. Special promotions during peak seasons, like you can have grant some offers, uh, 30% off, 40% off, like that. Special promotions during these seasons will boost your profit. Packaging and quality assurance. High quality packaging increases product appeal and your shelf life. The shelf life of the product is crucial here, and it is contributing to 15 to 20% higher sales if your product is packaged and quality assured. And compliance with food safety standards ensures consumer trust and repeat business. Next is educating your consumers, running awareness campaigns on health benefits of goat meat. Goat meat is low fat and high protein, which will drive 15 to 20% more purchases. And like creating a market for your product, like by awareness campaigns. And product education can increase market share, particularly in health conscious segments. The value chain, the goat and sheep meat value chain is important for all the entrepreneurs, which include the goat and sheep breeder or shepherd in the village market, and shepherd or goat or sheep rearer, which will connect to the village market. The village market will next connect to the district or semi-urban market. Next, it will have directly give to the retail shops in the district, and which will reach to the consumer. Or the next is the district or semi-urban market will give it to the terminal market, which will then forward it for exports. Diversification and value addition. Creating multiple revenue streams. Diversification increases farm revenue by 30 to 50%. And these value added products provide higher margins and market stability. As we can see in the pictures, goat and sheep manure powder, certain organic sheep and goat manure for your plants and garden for backyard farming. So the composting manure for organic fertilizer. Organic fertilizers are a high in demand, with sales growing to 20 to 25% annually. And manure processing can reduce waste and generate an income of rupees 500 to 1500 per ton. Next is the dairy products. Like I mentioned before, cheese, milk powder, yogurt, curd, goat milk products see 15 to 20% increase in demand annually. And the goat milk processing can increase the value by 30 to 50% per unit compared to the raw milk. There is a global market for goat milk, and there is a global goat milk market is expected to reach $11,415 million by 2026 and growing at a CAGR of 3.80. This is the data of 2019 to 2026 prediction. Next, focusing on few goat milk goodness, like it is easy to digest, prevents allergic reactions, has some healing properties, good for skin, contains high quality protein and lower fat than other animal milk. And the father of the nation, Mahatma Gandhi, has a link towards had an affinity towards goat, and he had vowed not to drink cow or buffalo milk and was persuaded by his wife to drink goat milk. This is a bar graph of Asia Pacific goat cheese market, and we can see the market for aged goat cheese and fresh goat cheese. Flavored goat cheese 7.4%. Next, coming to the goat milk market by distribution channel, we can see this is the data of predicted data of 2026 from the supermarket, convenience store, specialty stores, medical and pharmacy stores, and online. Moving ahead, wool, hides, and skin tanning. India's wool industry contributes rupees 200 crores annually, and hides and leather processing offer an additional income of rupees 5,000 to 10,000 per animal. Here we can see certain premium products like cashmere, sweaters made out of the sheep wool, raw hides and skins and leather, goat skin market, especially in the Middle Eastern regions. This is very popular. Angora wool. Moving ahead. The byproducts, as I had mentioned earlier, the byproducts, processing the byproducts and making a business out of it will earn you remunerative profits through in the sheep through hides, leather, drum heads. It is used for luggage, baseballs, upholstery, sports equipment, tennis balls, footwear. The intestines are used for sausage casings, used in musical instrument strings, surgical sutures, tennis racket strings. The manures are used for as a fertilizer, nitrogen fertilizer. It is used for culturing bacteria. The milk products, as I mentioned, cheese, feta cheese, ricotta, different type of yogurts, flavored yogurts, fat and fatty acids. The byproducts are used in explosives, solvents, chewing gum and paints, wool, lanolin, clothing, felt, different kind of knitwear, socks, yarns, artist brushes, different kind of brushes, and fabrics, carpets, raw wool, lanolin, adhesive tape, printing inks, motor oils, different kind of lubricants in cosmetics and pharmaceuticals, in lipsticks, mascara, shampoo, conditioner. There are so many products. And similarly, from the goats, the skin, intestine, manure, blood, milk, fat, all of it, and the hair are used in mohair, cashmere. Now coming to the challenges catered by goat farming industry. There are certain regulatory compliances, navigating complex regulations for food safety and animal welfare, market access. Finding reliable markets for goat products such as meat, milk can be very challenging at times. And disease management. Goats are susceptible to various diseases like foot rot, respiratory infections, internal and external parasites, which can be difficult to manage and lead to huge mortality, sometimes wiping out the entire farms, and the entrepreneur has to face losses. Land and grazing resources. There's a scarcity of feeding resources. Securing sufficient land and grazing resources for goats and sheep can be challenging. So, as I mentioned, the common challenges is disease outbreak can cause losses up to 30 to 30% of the herd. Market fluctuations, price volatility can reduce income by 15 to 20% during low demand seasons. Feed shortages lead to 15 to 25% decreased growth rates and increased costs. So, what are the strategies to overcome such challenges? Biosecurity, reduce risks by 40 to 50% as per NABARD 2023. Diversification, having multiple income sources to stabilize the cash flow. Innovation, introducing technology, adopting mobile apps for farm management, IoTs, improve efficiency by 20 to 30%. Learning from successful entrepreneurs. Focus on quality, sustainability, and value addition. Report 20 to 25 to 30% higher profits. Following the success stories of small ruminant farmers, which are available through certain NABARD case studies and available on various online platforms, on ICR website, etc. And continuous learning and adaptation. No, there is no one formula for having a successful business. Training programs and government schemes improve productivity by 15 to 20%, and keeping up with the industry trends and innovation will ensure long-term sustainability in this business. Now, coming to certain inspiring success stories in the small ruminant farming, they all started small, focused on high quality goat milk and value added products, and now are earning lakhs annually through direct sales or through processing or retail partnerships. They all overcame challenges and they are an inspiration to innovate and thinking outside the box. This is the story, the one I have tried to cover three stories. One is from Meghalaya. The tribal people, in collaboration with the KVKs, namely Nambe Marak and Pranila Sangma, they started their own goat enterprises and are now earning well. One success story is of Mangla Kiran Nilgand of Karnataka. This is a woman, she is an agriculture graduate and she is running a successful sheep farming business in Karnataka. Next is of Mr. Janab Rashid Ahmed, who is from Andhra Pradesh, and he has started sheep farming and is now expecting a net income of over 5 lakhs. He's a retired personnel. Moving ahead, what the future holds. So there are the emerging trends. The organic farming. As I mentioned, organic farming is present and the future of any kind of farming. Increasing demand for organic meat and dairy. India's organic market is growing at 15 to 20% annually. The climate smart agriculture, adoption of water efficient and sustainable farming practices, reducing costs by 20 to 30%. Ethical farming practices, focusing on animal welfare and sustainability and meeting global standards for exports. Next is the opportunities in global export markets and urban demand. In India, goat meat is in high demand in the Middle Eastern and Southeast Asian markets. Exports grew by 18% in 2022-23. Urban demand. Urban centers increasingly prefer premium, organic, and health focused small ruminant products, as I mentioned earlier. They want processed products which are easy to use and healthy and cruelty free. So these kind of things are preferred in the urban market. Growing urban market demand for goat milk and related products, especially in the health conscious segments, as I have mentioned earlier. The role of education and training. The training programs in farm management, veterinary care, and sustainable farming are essential for increasing farm productivity. Government and certain NGO initiatives have trained over many farmers in advanced practices. Future prospects for young entrepreneurs. So, the government support schemes such as National Livelihoods Mission, NABARD funding, and credit subsidies are available for youth entering small ruminant farming. Technology and innovation. Digital tools, precision farming, e commerce platforms, Internet of Things open new revenue streams for new young entrepreneurs. Youth engagement. The youth focused National Youth Entrepreneurship Development Scheme aims to foster 5,000 new agri entrepreneurs by 2025. And as 2025 has arrived, this is the prime time to be investing in such kind of enterprises. Here we can see few of the government initiatives. Sheep and goat farming entrepreneurs wanted, National Livestock Mission, entrepreneurs for breed development in small ruminant sector. So now I would like to sum up my today's presentation, and by summarizing a few key takeaways from today's webinar. First is embrace innovation and sustainable farming. Next is the marketing strategies, both local and online, which can expand market reach and create steady demand. Implement technology. Don't shy away from using technology for your own benefit. Value added products will maximize your earnings. Prioritize financial planning and scalable growth to ensure long term sustainability. Start small, but scale with determination, and gradually expand by diversifying products, and don't shy away from exploring new markets. And next, brand identity and build a trusted customer base. Join the conversation, connect with industry experts, cooperatives, and entrepreneurs to exchange ideas and collaborate. And questions, keep the questions coming, and thus having your networking opportunities go. Let's work together to shape the future of the small ruminant farming. Thank you.